Well, here we are. I'm not sure how many people are in here, but there will be a few, I'm sure. So we just did a premiere of my most recent video, which was my celebration of 4 years in Albania, which was it was a long video to edit because I was going through all of the drone footage that I've had over the last 12 months, basically, here in Albania. And I put it together and then I premiered it. And first time trying a premiere, I think that it worked decently well. I messed up a couple of things, so people had to wait a little bit longer, which is why this live stream started a couple of minutes late. But we were finishing up that other video. If you would like to go watch it, let me pull up the link for it and drop it in the chat so that you can go watch my most recent video. So, videos in the chat. If you want to watch it, come back. It's only about 3 minutes long. If you want to watch it, if you have questions about it, let's talk about it. This is the 4-year anniversary of me stepping off of the plane with all of my belongings and making living in Albania a reality. And so this is as close to a celebration as I'm gonna get. Maybe I'll go buy myself some dinner after this or something, but it's not that much different than any other day would be, except that it's been 4 years now. All right, now we have some people in here getting some questions. Leonard London, hi James. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. This next question says from M. Fallon, any advice on finding a job in Albania, approaching employers and the likes, employee rights, what wages you can expect? I don't know how much help I can be with that, unfortunately, because I already have a job here, so I haven't looked too much into it. I know of a handful of people who have moved here without a job and been able to find one. I'm assuming since you wrote in English, maybe that's for my benefit, but you probably know English. And so knowing English and being able to get a job at English teaching job seems decently reasonable, decently easy. Employee rights, I don't know if those even exist here, to be totally honest. I'm sure they do in some capacity, but employees are often not treated the best at many jobs here. And wages could be really anything. Wages could range from like 250 euros a month to whatever, depending on what work you're doing. The minimum salary, I think right now, is about 280 euros per month, which is not a lot. And it's often not enough to live on in some places if you're just living by yourself. So I would look into all of those things a little bit more before choosing to come here. Kyle Cash, what's up? Hey, you guys left Albania too early. You should have stayed. You should have spent more of the summertime here, but hopefully you'll be back. Cheers, mate. Love your work. Keep at it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following whatever you're doing. Learn with RR. Hi, brother. How are you? I'm good. I'm doing well. I saw you in my premiere of my video like 5 minutes ago. Thank you for watching that. I'd never tried a premiere before, so it's really interesting trying that and seeing what happened. Yeah, it made it exciting, made it more fun. I think I would like to premiere a longer thing, but like actually do this fanfare about it, not like a 3-minute video like I just did, but maybe if I make like a 20-minute video or a 30-minute video, something that I put a lot more time into, and then have this premiere feature where a bunch of people all around the world can watch it wherever they want. And I mean, not wherever they want, all at the same time, which would be fun. Drone captures are kind of rare in Albania. Yeah, I've been doing my best to change that. There's a number of guys that have been learning drone stuff and like getting really good at it recently. A number of them on Instagram I see, not so much on YouTube. Kyle says, "You keep putting out these videos, making us miss it. Then we will be back." Yep, that's the plan. I had someone today even say, what did he say? He said, "Whenever I see a video of you made, it makes me homesick for my country." And I said, "That's kind of what I do." Soviet kan në Shqipëri, kam 4 vjet në Shqipëri sot. I'm going to write a pinned message for anyone jumping in, and feel free. Leonard, thank you for being in here. I remember last time I did a live stream, you were one of the consistent conversationalists, so I appreciate it. Leonard asks, "What motivates you about life in Albania?" I think one of the biggest things that motivates me about my life here is it's not Albania specific. It's just Albania has become the place that I can do this. Albania has become a place where I have a job, I have work, and I can work on YouTube and other creative things that I've been trying to do. YouTube, podcast, Instagram, writing, live streaming, whatever kind of creativity, whatever kind of storytelling I can do, I've been trying to do, and also maintain my full-time job. My employers have been very understanding and very helpful in that. And I think that's one of the big things that motivates me here. It's not specifically being in Albania. It could be the same anywhere, but this is just where mine happens to be. Learn with RR. What are your plans for future, or you haven't thought about that? My current plans for the future are to be here for one more year. And after a year here, one more year here in Albania, I can get citizenship. And after I get a passport, I have to do like all of the Albanians do and leave Albania. No, I'm just kidding. I might leave Albania. I'm not sure. I want to be dual citizen. I think it'd be fun. I think it would be like a good, what do you call it? A good benefit to me in the future, maybe. And it's kind of like a stamp of approval of like, I spent time in this country, not just traveled through. So my plan for the future right now is to stay for the next year. The next 5 months will be pretty busy with traveling and doing other stuff. And then, next year, I don't know what will happen just yet, but the plan is to stay here for at least another year, maybe another few years. How old are you? I'm 30 years old. Yeah, about 5 months ago, had my 30th birthday, made a video about that as well. You can find it on my channel. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my channel on my other screen. That way I can copy and paste video links. So I really should have, what's the word? Moderator that can do all these links for me. But Karina, there's my 30th birthday video in the chat. Leonard London, how beautiful is Albania? Great. I just premiered every year, August 15th. Let me start over. 4 years ago, August 15th, day I moved to Albania. Every year I upload a drone video of drone footage that I've obtained over the previous 12 months. And I just premiered that on my channel. It's the most recent video up. And it's like 3 minutes long. It's just from this last year. And I think I've gotten better at drone piloting in the last 4 years. But if you go, there's a playlist of the last 4 years. Every August 15th, I've been posting one. And so it shows you how beautiful Albania is. I'm sure you already know. Kyle, have you been to Greece? Look at this. Yet another question that can be answered with a YouTube video. I did go to Greece. In Greece, I visited the Mani Peninsula down in the Peloponnese, visited a friend of mine who has lived here in Pokerdes for a little while, and I just went and spent about a week there. Made a 20-minute video about that, and that's linked in the chat now also, Kyle. MH, would you say that you made more positive than negative experiences in Albania? Absolutely. I've had a number of negative experiences, but they tend to always be with the same people. And so as long as I avoid being around those particular people, then my experiences are overwhelmingly positive. Lolly, I have a question for you. Oh, no. Oh, this is too much Albanian. Yeah, I I don't speak enough to be able to fully understand that. So if you could write that in English, that would be great. Something about the economy. How was the economy? Like Korcha and what activities in Albania? Something like that. Anyway, if you could write that in English, that would be very helpful. I don't have time to try to translate that right now. Henry Godfrey. Albanian people seem to get married young and stay married. Is dating possible in your 30s and older? Good question. I think dating is possible in your 30s. As far as I understand, many Albanian men don't get married till they're 30. The Albanian girls tend to get married a little bit younger. And so they like there's dating. I don't know. In my town, it's hard because there's not many people that are my age and unmarried. And so there is dating, but not where I live. And if I wanted to get into that world, it would have to be with someone who doesn't live in this particular area. Look at your video. I know what a beautiful country Albania was. I hope you mean is, because Albania still is a beautiful country. What have you learned about life in general by living in Albania, and how will you use that moving forward? What have I learned about life in general in Albania? One thing that living in Albania has taught me is that hustle culture isn't the way. So in the US, there's this idea that you just hustle, hustle, hustle. You work all the time. If you're not working, you're getting behind. If you take a break, you're getting behind. If you rest, you're getting behind. And Albania kind of in my 4 years here has kind of learned how to balance that. So I have days where I'm working the entire day, and I have days where I'm just relaxed and take it easy and hang out with some friends for a couple of hours and sit at a coffee shop for a few hours. And I think that that's something that I will always keep with me, is that giving myself the what do you call it? Giving myself the permission, I guess, to just settle down, and not settle down, but relax and slow down and not have to be working 16 hours every day just to be living a life that I enjoy living. Luan asks, have you visited the north of Albania? I've been to a few parts. I just went to Lumishales recently. That was fine. I went to Theth, and I will put the Theth video that I made in the chat. I went to Theth. Theth was awesome. I have yet to go to Valbona. My plan is to go to Valbona. Well, it was supposed to go in August this month, but I have no idea if that's going to actually happen or not, just because the guy I was supposed to go with doesn't seem like he's wanting to go. So I'll have to organize that on my own. Kyle Cash, why hustle when you can sit in the cafe with a cig and a coffee? Exactly. Or if you're me, sit in a cafe with water. Yep, with the water. MH, did you visit Kosovo? If not, would you like to visit Kosovo? I would love to visit Kosovo. I've been there once before. Only went to Peja, but I would like to go and to spend a few days, maybe a few weeks in Kosovo. I would love to make a series of videos about Kosovo. And I want to branch out more out of just Albania videos. I want to kind of go to all the Balkans and whatever else is around. And I feel like Kosovo is a natural first step in that. I'd love to do a multi-part series in Kosovo. I think that would be a lot of fun. Karina, have you been to Vlora recently? I was in October last year where they were building a lot and making it better for tourism. I'm curious to go back one day. I spent 2 months in Albania. I have not been in Vlora recently. I think I'll go in about a month. And I don't know what it looks like. I don't remember the last time I went. It might have been, when was it? Last year? It might have been last year. Because usually if I go to the south of Albania, I go through the mountains, through Permet and Korcha. Shpata. Do you like Albanian cuisine? I do. Albanian cuisine to me seems very it's made with very few ingredients, which is really helpful for me. I've had food intolerances for a lot of my life and had to stick to very specific diets, but Albanian cuisine is something that I know if I go into a grill to get grilled meat, I'm getting grilled meat. I'm not going to get a grilled meat with like mashed potatoes and tons of, whatever sauce is put on. I'm just going to get a plate of meat, which is perfect for me. Leonard London, what would you say to James' first experience in Albania? I'm not sure I understand the question. Maybe you can rephrase it a little bit. That would be helpful. You should check out Mitrovica. Where's Mitrovica? Kyle says Albanian cuisine is his favorite in all the places that he's visited. That's really interesting. Leonard, are you asking for advice? What would I say to myself when I first, or what would I say to someone else before they come here? CJ, have you been to Colonia before or Czech Leskovic? I'd like to make some videos on them as I haven't been. I'd like you to make some videos on them as I haven't been in ages. Good channel. Keep it up. I made a video recently, relatively recently. Let me find it on my channel and I will link it, about the back roads of Albania. And it was the drive from Korcha to Permet, which goes right through Ersek and Leskovic. And there's some drone footage in there. I'm not sure how much different it looks now than when you were last there, but there's some of that. Do you have any plans to visit Albanian towns like Tetovo and Kosovo in North Macedonia? I mentioned earlier, I would like to branch out my videos and my traveling more out of Albania, just in the immediate surrounding area. And I think it would be fun to find some of these Albanian places, Albanian cities around there. I think that would be a lot of fun and really interesting. Luan, I have a recommendation. Why don't you visit Vermos? It is the northernmost part of the country. The nature is breathtaking and many traditional inns with traditional cuisine. Sounds awesome. Would love to go there if I can find the time and find the money in order to fill up my car and do that. That would be beneficial. That would be helpful. Orgito Dushi, are you going to stay in Albania for a long term? If not, which country would you like to live in next? That's a really good question. I think that what I've done in Albania is really unique and interesting, and made a lot of videos talking about a country that people don't know a lot about. And I think that it would be fun to do that in another country, maybe somewhere like Moldova or Romania, perhaps. Something like that. I don't know. I don't know where my life's going to lead. I will be in Albania for at least another year, maybe a few more years than that, but at least one more year. And then I'll kind of re-gauge things, figure things out. Probably based on like which one is the easiest to have residence in, which one is the easiest to be allowed in. Climb it. Did you manage to get your Albanian passport? Nope, not yet. Still working on that. Not really. I mean, I'm just waiting for that, honestly. Just have to wait another year, or maybe I can start applying in 6 months after I've been here for 4.5 years. But I need to look into that process to figure out exactly how it goes. Leonard, okay, thank you. Yourself or someone, advice, tips, and so on. So one of the things that I would tell people is, don't be afraid to ask for help. Even if people don't speak the same language as you here, they will always try to help you do what you're doing, especially if you're a tourist trying to figure out, if you don't know your way around. Be expecting to see lots of garbage everywhere. Don't let that shock you. Just because you don't see it on Instagram and often not on YouTube doesn't mean it's not here. And yeah, I think one of the biggest things about Albania for anyone who's never been here is just be willing to go in with an open mind, and you know, everyone here is so, well, almost everyone here is so kind, so generous, and so hospitable. And that's not the kind of what would you call it? That's not the kind of thing that the internet and the world leads you to believe about Albania. Just go in open-minded. Do you know anything about Dieber? That's where my grandparents are from. I don't. I keep seeing it pop up in places that I'd like to go, but I haven't been there yet. I think it would be great if you made a video about Ardenica Monastery, which is close to Fier. It's the monastery where Skanderbeg married his wife. Yeah, somebody actually sent me a message about that the other day, and hopefully can go. I would like to find another thing to be doing in Fier before just going to make the one video. It'd be nice if I can make a couple or have some other reason to go there, so I can kind of stack things on top of each other. Which city in Albania do you like the most? Pogradec, without a doubt. Pogradec is my favorite city. I don't know about my second favorite, maybe Kruja, but I like water, so also Himara might be up there, but Pogradec is far and away my favorite, without a doubt. Luan, I live in Albania, and I feel grateful to you for giving this small country some good exposure. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I just wish sometimes that the people responsible for promoting the country, the tourism board, would appreciate me as much as the people that see my videos. Mara, any more videos of your camping adventures with your van? Yes, those hopefully will be coming up. There had some complications, haven't been able to get out in the van as much as I can, actually, as much as I'd like. Actually, the last time I went camping in the van was about 3 months ago, which is entirely too long, and I need to go again. It's difficult at times. Leonard, how much has Albania grown? I don't know if Albania has grown overall at all. I know that in the last 4 years, especially in 2020, there were tons, and I mean tons, of foreigners that came here because Albania didn't close their borders when the pandemic started. And so people just flooded in, especially Americans who had a full year, who could get a full year just on the stamp of their passport. And so lots and lots of people came in. Yeah, I think that I think it's more diverse in the last 4 years, but I don't know if there's more people because Albanians often want to leave and other people from other countries want to come in. MH, did you learn enough Albanian to be able to make a simple conversation in Albania? Yes, I know enough Albanian to be able to talk to people in a grocery store, in a restaurant. I've talked myself out of a couple of speeding tickets. I can talk a bit. I just can't. I have trouble remembering all of the words that I need to use, and so it's a very slow, choppy conversation. And I hopefully will be learning more, but at this point, like I know enough to get by as much as I need to, so it's not that big of a deal. Robbie, culture shocks between Albania and the US. One of the things that I experienced some reverse culture shock when I went back to the US back in December for my brother's wedding, was I'm so used to only hearing Albanian and not understanding every word, that when I got back to the US, I was like, when I'm in Albania and I hear English, my ear like tunes to it and picks it up, and I'm like, oh, I hear English. There's somebody else speaking English. I went back to the US and my brain and my ears were still like in that place. And then I go into the Austin, Texas airport or Houston airport or something like that. I think it must have been Houston airport. And suddenly most of the people around me are speaking English, and my brain went into overdrive trying to listen to everybody's conversations. That was a bit of a shock, but like in a reverse culture shock way. Do you have a problem with crime in Albania? I have never, other than not getting paid for some of the work that I've done but for certain clients, I've not had a problem with any crime in Albania. The biggest problem that I have with illegal activity is, or the most illegal activity that I encounter in Albania is copyright infringement. People stealing my YouTube videos, stealing my photos, and using them for their own benefit without asking for permission, without getting any license, any of that. And I think people just don't understand that I own that stuff. Doesn't matter where they find it. If I'm the one that created it, I'm the one that owns it. Karina, is it legal to camp in a van in the nature everywhere in Albania? In Albania, wild camping is legal. It's perfectly allowed. There obviously, you should respect private property rules, and I wouldn't camp right in the middle of towns, but I've camped in random mountains all around Albania, random places next to rivers and fields and mountains. And I've never had any problems at all. One time I had the police come and they just checked to make sure that I had enough water and everything. It wasn't, and that was on the coast near the beach. So it wasn't even that big of a, like I wasn't out in the middle of nowhere. I was near where lots of people typically would be. Is it true people complaining about shell zone along the coastline? Probably. I don't watch Albanian news, so I don't listen to a lot of what people are talking about. I've heard my coworkers and whatnot discuss that sort of thing, but yeah, I would. It's tough because Albania tourism is such a big industry in Albania that you want certain things to be brought here in order to benefit the country, benefit the economy, and all of this sort of stuff. But then that also comes with the negative side of it as well. And that's over tourism, overpopulation, building hotels that are just really terrible quality, and hoping that people pay for the hotel, sure, but people build the hotel and it just falls apart. Or one time I went into a hotel and there was still like construction dust everywhere because they hadn't cleaned it, and they built the hotel so fast it was not well built. The shower leaked, all of these sorts of things that come from trying to build a hotel up too fast. 1 to 10, how safe is Albania? I'm going to say a 9, maybe a 9.5. I don't want to say 10 because I know that there's some stuff here that's not safe. There's some people that have had bad experiences here, but for me, I've not had any problems. However, I am like 2 meters tall. I'm over 6 foot. I'm almost 2 meters tall. I'm over 6 foot. I'm 200 pounds or 90 kilos. Like, nobody's going to try to mess with me unless they're in a big group of people, and that would have to be relatively organized. I've left my bike unlocked in places around my small town. If I go to Tirana in the capital, I would lock it. And it just sits there and nobody does anything. I would lock my car. I would lock my house, but like most things, if I leave my phone in a coffee shop and I leave, it'll probably have been picked up by a waiter and waiting for me at the counter when I get back, that sort of thing. What would you say that the economical situation of Albania? Would you say that the economical situation of Albania improved in the last 4 years? I would say no. I don't know if it would get bad, but I don't know if it got worse, but it's not great. I don't think it got better with inflation and salaries kind of staying where they are. It's difficult for people to maintain certain things and maintain a certain level of living, but yeah, I don't think it's improved in the last 4 years, unfortunately. someone asked about driving, and I made a video about driving in Albania, and I will share that in the chat in 1 second as soon as I can find it. If I can find it, where did it go? Well, maybe I won't share it in the chat. I thought I had it, but it is taking longer to find than I thought. There it is. Okay, let me share this in the chat. But the question was, how do you feel about driving in Albania, especially in the summer? People drive recklessly here. Yes, they do drive recklessly. And in the summer, I hate going places and I hate driving places because of that. I ride a bike around my town and weave in and out of cars just because that's the only way, the most efficient way to get around. Here, I haven't left Pogradets in like 6 weeks because I don't want to deal with the traffic that's everywhere else. I get annoyed enough just in Tirana traffic in the normal time of year. I don't want to deal with traffic in the south during the summertime. Actually, I left Albania, or I left Pogradets like a month ago to go up north, and the traffic wasn't too bad, but it gets worse in August, significantly worse in August. Leonard says, what would you say to Eddie Rama about Albania going forward? Please give me citizenship. No, I mean, I probably would say that, but in terms of for Albania, I don't know, man. It's a really difficult thing because like there's a lot of improvement that needs to be made, but like a lot of the improvement probably should be made in the government more than anywhere else, which is really frustrating because the politicians are the ones that are going to be doing the most change, but then they're likely the ones that need the most change being done. Spada. Not a single country in Europe is 100% safe. Exactly why I didn't rate Albania a 10, but I think that Albania is just as safe as most other countries in Europe. Leonard asks again, what your parents say about you living in Albania all these years. They are unfazed. I've been here 4 years. Neither of my parents nor any of my 9 brothers and sisters have come to visit me, which is neither here nor there. But they're used to me being off somewhere random, living somewhere random, traveling somewhere random. So it doesn't really faze them that I live here. Albanians live a generally relaxed lifestyle. Do you feel that is also prevalent in the work culture in Albania? What do you think about work culture in Albania compared to, let's say, the US? Yes, lifestyle here is relaxed. I do believe that comes through in work culture at times. Coming from the United States, I have this in my mind that if I'm not actively working, I'm being lazy and I'm going to get behind. And there's this hustle culture mindset where I'm not going to be what I want to be. I'm not going to be who I want to be if I'm not working all the time, every single day. I think that that's toxic. However, there's also the opposite side of that where you work and you're only doing one thing and then just being relaxed about it. Like there's a nice in between place. And for me, being an American living in Albania, I've been able to find this middle ground where I know the days that I can relax and I know the days that I have to kick it into the next gear and actually get work done. I think that the work culture in Albania could benefit. A lot of the work culture in Albania could benefit from a little bit more of a hustle culture mindset, but also I think the U.S. is not a good standard because the U.S. is a little bit too much in that regard. Which city in Albania do you like the most except Pogradec? I mentioned this earlier. Kruja, I really love Kruja, but I feel like outside of Pogradec, I really like being near the sea or being near water. So I think I would also like maybe Shkodër. There's water there, but not quite the same. Probably maybe Hamara or one of those villages along the coast. But the problem is that in the summertime, those would get even more crowded than it is here. Like one of the things that I love about Pogradec is that it's crowded in the summer, but not near as crowded as some of the other parts of the country. So city in Albania that I like the most besides Pogradec is probably Kruja or maybe Himara or Ksamil's not bad, but again, it's just too many tourists there almost all the time. What's your main reason for wanting to get citizenship? The hassle of okay, so the main reason that I want to get citizenship, honestly, it's just to have a cool, like, as an American, you don't meet well, where I come from, you don't meet dual citizens very often. It's really interesting to me when someone has dual citizenship. So that's one of the biggest reasons, was just to have dual citizenship. I believe that Albania will be in the EU at some point, and I think that if I'm already a citizen of Albania, then I will then become a citizen of the EU, which would be super beneficial. Now I realize that there are other ways to do that and other EU countries that I could go through the process and get citizenship, but I'm already living here, so why not try to get it here? And the last reason is that I think that when you get dual citizenship, it kind of shows, well, the way that I'm doing it, it kind of shows that I've invested, I've put in time in this place, and I didn't just pass through with a backpack or something. But yeah, that's one of my biggest, those are my biggest reasons. What are you taking from Albania if you want to start a family in the States? Very interesting. I think that one of the things that I would take from Albania is, well, honestly, I feel like it's probably what I wouldn't take from Albania. It seems like parenting here is often done very, very helicoptery, very like stay inside, stay with the family, don't be that. And I feel like they could stand to be a little bit more open-minded, and seeing the negative sides of being kind of a helicopter parent causes me to want to kind of push the other way. I'm not planning on having kids. I'm not planning on being a parent though. Or having a family. So that's just my thinking. Do the people in your hometown in the U.S. generally know anything about Albania? And if yes, do they have prejudice against Albanians? Honestly, no, they don't. Most people in my hometown don't know anything about Albania. Excuse me for a second. There's an alarm going off in the other room, and I'm going to turn it off. Give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. There's water in Kukas too. You ever been here? I have been to Kukas, but not for very long. Maybe I should try Kukas. I'll go up there sometime when I go to Kosovo. The problem is there's so many places I want to go, but I don't want to drive to Kukas just for a day and then come back. I want to actually spend time there. And I can't do that with the job that I have because I have to be back here every few days. The wrong Alice asks, hi, thanks for content. How much is a month in a nice apartment? How much is a month in a nice apartment in Saranda? I'm not sure. It depends on what time of year you're going. Right now, they're going to be very expensive. In the wintertime, you can probably find something for a couple of €100 per month. But I really have no idea. I've never looked at the market in Saranda. Rise of the Rice. Hey, buddy, thanks for all your work. You are doing great job. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for supporting me. Leonard says, what life experience in Albania has taught you? I think the biggest is just to be kind and be open-minded and be hospitable. You know, take that attitude of Besa of your house belongs to God and to your guest, and just really help people that need it and help people that can't help themselves. Yeah. I think I missed some of these questions. So, okay, people from my hometown don't know anything about Albania. And I think that most prejudices against Albania in the US at least come from movies or maybe some TV shows, maybe some news. But my dad will email me or text me articles when he sees something about Albania, and it's not always positive. There's some positive stuff, but there's not tons that's positive. And Albania, as most of people know, doesn't have the best reputation. But what I've been doing here is trying to show, hey, look at what it actually looks like. It's not all people that are going to kidnap teenage girls from the airport in Paris, like happened in the movie Taken with Liam Neeson. I know this question is awkward, but the green stuff, advice, etc., and any decent nightclubs. Yeah. Alice, the wrong Alice. I'm not going to be able to help you with that. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't go out to clubs, so I have no idea how to answer any of those questions. Leonard London, how do you rate the people of Albania? People of Albania are wonderful, fantastic. Could stand to be a little bit more open-minded, but overall, very, very kind people. Did you travel to close by countries, and if you can compare them to Albania? Black Frog 21. I've traveled to most of the close by countries, and depending on how far you are from Albania, there are a lot of similarities. Southern Greece isn't really like Albania, but northern Greece did feel like Albania a bit. The Balkans in general are all very similar. They all have similar cuisine. They have similar architecture. It all comes from what all being in the same part of the same empire at one point. But there are things in Macedonia that to me seem the exact same as in Albania. Or I went to Serbia, and there's things in Serbia that seem the exact same as in Albania, or Montenegro, or and Kosovo, obviously. There's not that much difference coming from the United States, where the closest border to where I was living was Mexico, and things are vastly different between those two. When you get to Europe and countries are a lot closer together, there are things that are like cultures and cuisines and stuff kind of like are blurred lines a little bit more, rather than like this is Albanian, this is Macedonian, or whatever it is. RB, are you working on growing your freelance business so you can be more independent and maybe eventually make enough to quit your current 9-to-5? Yes and no. I am working to create my brand. I don't really want to be working I don't want to be doing freelance video here in Albania. People here have an idea of what they think good video is, and they stick to that. And if I make a video that doesn't look like that, then they decide that it's not good. As you can see, any wedding videos here look identical. If I wanted to make money, if I wanted to be doing video for business, for money's sake, I would be doing wedding videos, because I could charge so much money and make basically the exact same video every single wedding. I don't do that because I'm focused on growing my brand, my YouTube channel, my Instagram, my website, all of these things, my Patreon page, my YouTube memberships, all of these things that help me get to a point where I can be more independent from my 9-to-5. I do take clients for video work or social media management work or management consulting work, but all of those are from outside of Albania. I typically don't do that inside Albania. I have a little bit, but it just didn't work out very well. And so it's mostly from people that are outside of Albania. That way I don't have to mix anything. I don't have to, I'm not competing with people that are living 5 minutes away from me for somebody's job. There's a conversation happening between people, and I don't think the questions are sent to me. Okay, IG. Why Albania? Oh man. That's just, why not Albania? that's my response to that. That question I've answered so many times in the last 4 years. Really, I just wanted to get out of the US for a bit and just see a little bit more of the world and see what happens. Leonard London, again, thank you. I appreciate all of the questions. Thank you. Why too many young people leaving Albania? I think that people leave Albania because they see friends and family making money elsewhere, and they want to make money. Which there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. For me, money is not my ultimate goal. Therefore, I can live here happily. If my goal was to make money, then I would have stayed in the U.S. But that's why I came here. A lot of people leave because of politics. A lot of people leave because they don't think there's any opportunity here. And if there is opportunity, it's difficult to get to when, you can go to a different country and get a job that requires minimal schooling or minimal training, and you can get a job and get paid really well. Then why not do that rather than here? And that same job would pay you almost nothing. And then you can send money back to your family, support your family, or go on vacations or do whatever. I am lucky enough to have clients that live outside of Albania, so I can charge prices that are a little bit more than they would be in Albania. And that way I am still able to travel and fund my the life that I enjoy living. What would you say that you miss the most in Albania? Oh, about America, MH. What would you say that you miss the most in Albania, except for your family, of course? Yeah, let's say I miss my family the most. I can say that because none of them are going to be watching this. Yeah, sure. I miss my family. I honestly don't know. I think one of the things that I miss the most about the US is convenience of getting things. I forget that Amazon exists here because I never order anything online. If I can't buy the thing in town or drive to Tirana and buy it, then it basically doesn't exist for me. So the fact that like Amazon, you can order and have it at your door in 2 days, or you drive to Walmart, the closest Walmart to everyone in America is like 5 minutes away, usually, maybe a bit more. But you drive to Walmart and buy a bunch of different things. And I don't know. It's just one of those things that it's just nice to be able to get. It's nice to be able to get stuff easily, and that doesn't always happen here. RB says there's RB says there's a few e-commerce websites with decent prices and 2-day shipping. Yeah, there are. That's true, but it's still, convenience of things in the US is still different. Don't mean to be too personal. The wrong Alice says, don't mean to be too personal, but can you get a girlfriend there? I know some countries it can be frowned upon, and I figure it's likely a bit like that there. Honestly, don't know. I have had girlfriend. I've dated people here, and whether or not it's frowned upon, it doesn't matter to me. If it doesn't matter to me and it doesn't matter to the girl that I'm dating, then it shouldn't matter to anyone else. What are your Albanian friends' future hopes about leaving Albania or living in Albania? I have some people that I know that are hoping to live here for the long term and invest in this country and invest in what is going on here, and hopefully make money and bring tourism here. I also know people that would get out the first chance that they get. Living in Albania. Yeah, so a lot of the people that live here have decent jobs, or they have plans to try to invest. I believe that Albania will become more and more popular in the next 5 to 10 years, and I believe that poker nets specifically will become more popular in that time. And I think that because of that, there will be lots of people that if they're investing now, and they will it'll benefit later. A lot of people are leaving, a lot of people are investing, and I think the ones that are investing it'll benefit them later. The ones that are leaving, I think it'll benefit them now. What do you think about our language? It's difficult to learn, man. Let me tell you. I've been trying for years, and I'm not getting. I'd like to think that I speak better than a 4-year-old Albanian child, but that's probably not even true. Yeah. Johnny, I was going to ask you the same question why you chose Albania, but I can see already many people asked that question before me. Yep. People have been asking that question for 4 years now. And the answer is basically I wanted to get out of the US, found a job in Albania, and decided to settle in Albania for the time being. MH, would you say that there is a big difference between Christian Albanians and Muslim Albanians? Depends on what you're talking about. Some of them are more devout than others. Some of them are more practicing than others. I would say the average Christian Albanian versus average Muslim Albanian, they're just going to be Albanian. You know, the religion of Albania is Albanian, is what often people say here. And I don't think that religion or where they worship has anything to do with that. Now, obviously, if you get more into the more practicing ones, there's going to be a little bit more difference. But Johnny, so my question is, what is your plan in Albania right now? Live, enjoy my life, make some YouTube videos, and take a lot of photos, and try to show the world what Albania actually looks like and what Albania actually is like. Leonard London, food market quality wise versus the States. What I would say is supermarkets in the US have a much wider variety. However, produce markets, fruits and vegetables here in Albania just are head and shoulders better than anything that I had in the US, with the exception of maybe some farmers markets and this sort of thing. But for the most part, fruit and vegetables, fresh produce is just significantly better here. How much is scooter rental, and are they hot on you not wearing a helmet, and do they drive on the left or the right? We drive on the right in Albania. I don't know how much a scooter rental is. I've never rented a scooter and therefore don't know about the helmet law. Lorky? Oh, wait. I feel like that question will be a little bit longer of an answer, so let me answer Robbie's real quick. Best soft drink in Albania. I love the lemon soda, just like the black lemon soda. Also, I love Eevee lemon, and also Fanta Exotic, of course, like everyone. Okay, Lorky 93, talking about Lorky 93. Yeah, sorry, that username threw me off. Talking about investment, startup culture is starting to develop here, albeit slowly. A lot of incubators and Kickstarters have opened recently. Ever consider starting something new of your own? I have. I've thought about it a lot, but I would like to. I don't want to start something that's the same as everybody else. So I don't want to open a. I don't want to open a coffee shop like everybody has, or a barber shop or something like that. I was actually had a long conversation today with a friend of mine about investments and what kind of things that we could start. We could, what kind of startups we could make that were beneficial for us monetarily, but also beneficial for the community, for the city, whatever. We have some ideas of things that could be done in poker debts, but we don't have the necessary investments to be able to do that. It's just one of these things that it's just like, it's difficult because you can have as many ideas as you want, but at the end of the day, if you can't convince someone to like help support it financially, I'm not going to be able to do it. So I've thought for 4 years, I've been thinking about different ways to help make this country better. And the most consistent way that I can do that is by giving it a positive image through social media. At least right now, the most significant way that I can do that. RB says, as a Catholic Albanian, non-religious, I'd say it doesn't really matter, and can't think of many instances where my religion was a factor for people to treat me differently. Exactly what I've always heard from Albanians. The wrong Alice, the ham situation. Are you talking about pig meat? If you're talking about pig meat, it's very easy. You just go to the butcher. I'm confused by that question. Maybe because you've heard that Albania is a Muslim country, but just because it's said that it's a Muslim country doesn't mean that Muslims are practicing. So many Muslims that I know still eat pork and still drink alcohol, whatever. So, yeah. Fanta, you hate Fanta. RB hates Fanta Exotic, but likes Fanta Orange, in case any of us were wondering. Fanta is not my go-to, but I like the Fanta Exotic because it's something that I've never had before. Before I came here. Thoughts about Rocky? Don't like it, honestly, but I don't drink alcohol, so Rocky isn't going to be any different than most alcohol for me. Is there anything in Albania? If there's anything in Albania for you to change or do in order for you to stay forever? No, I don't think I will ever stay in Albania forever. I used to think I might, and then the longer I've lived here, the more I've realized I probably won't. I would not be surprised if Albania is somewhere that I come back and visit very consistently, but I don't think I'll ever live here forever. Restaurants are all the same. It's all meat and salad. There needs to be a lot of variety, although food is tasty. After a week being there, it gets very boring. Yeah, Victoria, that's very true. It also depends on where you are. If you're in Toronto, there's a lot more variety. In Pogradec, there's getting to be more variety, but it's still kind of all from the same base cuisine. Like most of like I said much earlier in the stream, most of the dishes are put together with few ingredients, and so it's very easy to for food to get repetitive. Luckily for me, I stick to pretty strict diets and therefore have to eat repetitively, and I'm okay with it. It's I don't live to eat, I eat to live, and that makes it much easier. All right, everyone, it's been almost an hour. I'm going to start wrapping this up. If anyone has some questions, some last questions, then pop those into the chat. I would appreciate if you like the stream. I would appreciate if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and follow me on Instagram. I have a Patreon if you want to support financially. I also have YouTube memberships if that's easier. Yeah, any of that stuff is much appreciated. Or sharing my videos, telling your friends about Albania and what it looks like, sharing my YouTube channel with them. Yeah, if anyone has any more questions, then throw those in there now and we'll get them out of the way, and I'll close this down and go about my own individual celebration. Oh, that's a great question. Arby, what is the AdSense revenue like with what I assume a mostly Albanian audience? It is absolute, just terrible. I make almost nothing. Yeah, I'm guessing close to nothing. So I've been monetized for 3.5 years almost, and I've made less than $2,000 from AdSense, and I've made a lot of videos and gotten a decent number of views. It's just there's not many advertisers that advertise in Albania, and they don't really value Albanian clicks that highly, and so it's just can't do anything about it. I mean, I keep making the videos because I like making the videos, not for the ad money, but the AdSense is atrocious here. Mara, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your support on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Yeah, Leonard, good talking to you as well. Thank you for your well wishes. Everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for joining. If you have any more questions, feel free to message me on Instagram. My Instagram is just James Leithart, and or comment under any of my YouTube videos. I try to reply to as many comments as I can within reason. So yeah, thanks for joining. Thanks for celebrating 4 years in Albania with me. And if you haven't already, go check out the video that I put out right before the stream went live, just talking about the or showing some beautiful spots from Albania. Thanks again, and have a good evening if you're in Albania. If you're not in Albania, have a good end of your day, rest of your day, whatever. See you, everyone.